Nice to talk to you. I enjoyed the film very much.
Thank.
Can you talk about, first of all, Eugenie and Dodin's relationship at the film's outset? You've talked about how it's a film about marital love. Of course, at the outset, they're not quite married. It seems like maybe the depth of their love actually takes them a little bit by surprise at the film's outset, their cozy companionship made more urgent by Eugenie's illness.
Uh-huh. Yes, of course. I'm that kind of director that really don't need to go deeply in the inner thought of the actor. What I wish to have from them is a certain amount of expressivity that is right for the movie. So how they gave it to me, I I don't wish to know. So how they will find the inspiration for their characters in the real life. I don't know. Because of course Juliette and Benoit, they were a couple more than 20 years ago, and they never worked together again after they split. So I was a little bit anxious about how they would be with each other, but I also knew that they are they are great professionals. So after a few days of shooting, it was a great pleasure for me to see them on the screen.
Now, I heard that Juliette Binoche warned you. She wanted to work with Benoit Magimel again, but she warned you, you'll see that.
Yeah.
But when you said, like, you seem concerned that there might be some problem, did you see what she was talking about?
Finally, yes, the first day of the shooting, there was something, happened there. So Benoit grabbed his things and he just left, and I had to run after him and but after that it was fine. It's they are such they are such great professionals, so no problem.
Uh, um, you talk a lot about letting the actors do their work and their interiority being theirs, but you do often achieve a kind of magical intimacy in your films. So I wonder if you have a conscious method by which you create the conditions for that intimacy on set with the actors, or just in how you shoot and edit your footage.
Yes, I think that you on the set, I give a kind of a frame by being there myself, and based on the way I behave, maybe they would know profoundly what I'm wishing, and what I don't want to have. So somehow this is something that help to get the right thing in a scene, I think.
Uh-huh.
It's because we don't talk much. I like to discover the character, everything on the set with the the actors while shooting it, and we don't discuss much about the story or the meaning. I think, and I told them that it looks very obvious. We all read the same scenario now. Let's try to discover it on the set.
Mhm. But if I heard you right, you also kind of set a tone by example, right? That they take the cue from you of this is kind of the maybe the energy level we're going to be at, and the kind of quiet collaboration. I don't know.
Yeah, yes, I think it's important. For instance, if you start to talk about the character for this scene at that moment, etc., you will give something. You will give a direction or something,
Hmm.
you know. But if you don't say it, then you give another direction.
Yeah.
And so I'm that kind, you know, more of that kind that we should not talk much about what we are going to do, what we are doing now, you know. So it's we will discover it, and then we try something, we look at each other, we smile or we don't smile, and then we keep on doing, you know.
Yeah. Yeah. Um, in the casting process, how do you assure yourself that an actor has the right sensibility to work effectively in your style?
um, it's um, it's something that is obvious as soon as they appear,
Hmm.
because what is important for me is the feeling of the humanity of the of of them, if it fits the character, you know, something that you can see immediately when someone appear, what kind of character, what kind of humanity is there, and if it fits, you know, the movie and the character, then it's the right person. And then I have to check some, you know, different small things like how they chew, how are their hands, how expressive are their hands, etc. And that's it.
Yeah. So this film involves obviously a lot of elaborate cooking sequences. And I wonder if you can, I know you've done this a million times, I'm sure, but talk us through a bit from start to finish how a cooking sequence like for example, the opening 20 minutes almost of the film, uh,
Mhm.
how that would be designed and executed.
Yes, I never normally I never prepare a scene. I mean, I would come without knowing what I'm going to do on the set, and then by looking at the set, I would decide how the character would move in there, and then where to put the track for the camera, and how all this will come together. Um, but for the first scene of the movie, I had to prepare it because I needed to bring to the audience a feeling of harmony. So everything need to be very fluid and complex at the same time, with the feeling of precision, and at the same time free, something free for the actor to move. Um, um, so that it started with something that is quite boring, with me and myself, you know, recording my voice, saying something like Dodin from his position D1 goes to position D2 doing something, while Eugenie from her position E1 goes to E2 doing something, etc. So I did it for the whole scene, and I put it in 3 long shots. And so we organized the shooting in 3 days, each day for 1 long shot, with of course some small shot that we add because we had time left. And so so I rehearse with my first assistant and some assistants, and then we show it to to the actors, and then on the sets they would come in, and then I would roll the camera, and we start to shoot immediately, you know. And then we would um, 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 we would make it better, step by step, you know, take by take, take after take.
Yeah. And when you worked with you worked with a couple of consultants. One initially, a great cook, great chef, who
Yes.
cooked for you. And
Yeah.
during that process, did you videotape him, take video of him cooking so that you would remember the series of steps and in designing
Yeah,
your
yes,
approach?
of course. Yes, of course. And it helped me a lot for later, you know, for to shoot the cooking scenes. And also while recording his cooking, um, we can see his hands, how it works, and also and so it was very useful for the actors, because when they saw him doing it, they had the feeling that they can do it also, you know, without being, without doing something that is too precise, or you know, you need some technical gesture. We don't need this at all in this movie.
Mm,
You know, I never show something like that in this movie. Yes.
yeah. And did you share that footage with them in advance, or just on the day on the set? Like, we're about to do this. Here's what the hands look like.
In advance, because they ask for it. Yes, because I asked them to give me a week of training, but they were too busy. They can only give me half a day. So in compensation, they, you know, they would like to see it. So I send it to them. Yes.
Yeah. Um, it's also a movie about loving artistic mentorship. And looking back at The Scent of Green Papaya, there's cooking lessons in that
Yes.
film as well. I
Uh,
wonder, what is your own experience of cooking, or being cooked for, or being taught how to cook?
yes, I don't cook in life. Yes, because as a Vietnamese, my mother always chased me out of the kitchen. You know, saying that it's not a good place for a man. Um, so I don't cook. But yes, I like this idea of um, transmission. You know, I like the idea of learning to do things with my hands, you know, because lately, for instance, I made a ceramic, um, and I enjoy it very much, because you know, when you can make something with your own hands, it's quite a pleasure, you know. Um, so for me, in the movie, one of the theme is also transmission, you know, of knowledge to Pauline. But this idea of the transmission transform itself in the movie into something much more important, much more spiritual, um, because somehow we can say that by Eugenie, by wanting to have Pauline as someone that she can train. Finally, somehow she managed to give Dodin a daughter, you know, before she died.
Yeah. Um, so this film obviously is joining the ranks of a history of food cinema. Uh,
Yes,
and did you consider how to set yourself apart from films like Babette's Feast or Big Night, your favorite Tampopo?
yes.
Or were there also certain things you really wanted to just steal a little bit and bring it into your film?
No, because if I still, it would not be conscious. And because it's so difficult to make a movie, to make it you know, really coherent. Then you have to really focus on the nature of what you are doing, you know. And of course there are something in my movie that um, I think that it will it will be difficult, you know, to do it again by someone else, because it's really very complicated. Simply because for the opening scene, um, they cook all the dishes at the same time, so this make it very difficult, you know. And because when we see her doing something and then on one dish, and then she moved to the next another dish, it need to be at the right moment of the other dish, you know. So this was something that is it drive me crazy, you know, to prepare all this, to make it very clear.
I know one thing that you've mentioned previously is the choice not to have beauty shots of the complete prepared dish that
Yeah.
kind of puts all that focus on it. Can you talk about why you made that choice?
Oh, because um, I consider that I'm making a movie about an art, you know, about gastronomy, and so it's interesting to see artists working. That was the most important thing, and at the end, the result is important when it can be enjoyed by someone, you know. So we see people eating. That was a more important, to see the pleasure on their face than to see the beauty of the dish, because we saw it so many times already, you know, in other films or broadcast. So I didn't need it. I needed to have a sense of a feeling of something that is generous in the dish, you know, but not you know, the beauty of it with the right color and everything.
Mhm. Uh, this is your third straight adaptation of a novel after
Yeah.
4 original screenplays. Can you talk about your approach to adaptation in general and for La Passion de Dodin Buffon in particular?
Ah, um, La Passion de Dodin, I took the character in the books, and two ideas: the pot-au-feu and also the menu of the prince. But for the rest, I invented it. You know, so it's something that I would not count in terms of adaptation.
Mhm.
Um, but the two others, they are I precisely adapted two kinds of books for me, you know, as a filmmaker. For me, there is two kinds of book. One is a book about experience. It's you know, Norwegian Wood is that kind of book, because you have a very good story, you have a very great characters, very precise, and you have a lot of plots and things in there, and then you have to select the one that you think it's right for the movie. And you have the other kind is the books of expression, meaning that the beauty of the book and the meaning and everything, the emotions would come from the way the writer wrote the lines, you know, the sentence, uh, how it goes with the next one, etc. The musicality of it and the meaning that is suggest a flow from one line to another, and this is expression, you know. And for this kind of books, it's very difficult to adapt, because usually you don't have a great story, and you don't have you know great characters in there neither, you know.
Yeah. Yeah, and I know the most obvious difference between this novel and film, which I guess you would say is more inspired by the novel,
Yeah.
is that it begins earlier. It's really a prequel in a way, right?
Yeah.
Prior to Eugenie being out of the picture, so we can see more of that relationship in action.
Yes, yes, of course, and also because I wanted to make a movie about marital love. Yes, so it's and how to make it interesting, not boring, and and you know, to bring this feeling of harmony to the audience, because it is something that is quite rare in cinema, because when you say harmony, you say no conflict, you know. And so for a movie, it's quite difficult to make a movie without any conflict in there.
And you have, by accident or coincidence or by design, this is a movie that you, in part, made with your own life partner, your own spouse, right?
Yes, yes.
Who is your your art director. Can you talk a little bit about how art might imitate life there, or vice versa?
Oh yes, of course. In my life with my wife, there is not that much harmony like in the movie. Yes, we argue a lot, and it's very dynamic. Um, but of course, it's something that I was inspired by. You know, at my age, I think that it's good to to leave something about my life. My daily life, and how we were able to stay with each other for so long, and working closely with each other, because beside movies, Yin she's also an artist, and she make sculptures and paintings, and she just had her first exhibition. And when she's working as an artist, of course I'm assisting her. I'm stretching her canvas and things like that, and all the cleaning. Uh, I I would do it, when she finished the day of working. Yes.
Yeah. This film has had a few titles. I wonder which title do you prefer seeing the film go under?
No, none of them.
None of them. Yeah.
Yes, yes, because frankly, it's the first time in my life, in my career, that I could not find the a title that I liked for the movie, and so I welcome, the people in different countries to change the title of the movie, and I enjoy it very much to have to see how in a country what aspect of the movie they like, and they would like to put in front, as in the foreground. So it's I quite like it.
Uh, um, so we're almost out of time, but I thought I just would ask. I recently rewatched Norwegian Wood, and I was curious if you had a happy collaboration with Jonny Greenwood.
Oh
On
yes,
that film.
very much. Yes, very much. Yes, and each time I ask him to do the score for my movie, but he was always very busy. So we missed the opportunity to work together again. But in the future, I will. Yes, of course. I really like, because when I saw There Will Be Blood, in this scene of when the little boy had this accident, the scene was so amazing, and with the music by Johnny, it was something so new for my ears, that I told myself that I really would like to work with Johnny. He's amazing. He's so profound and refined, and with the sound that I found very very special.
And maybe we could also talk briefly, since it's relevant. This film doesn't have a score. It
Yes.
has a diegetic sound that is so, like in many of your films, is so important to creating the immersive reality, right? Can you talk a little bit about how you designed that sound?
Oh yes, it's very simple. For me, the sound, I never use what I call sound effects. I need a real sound, and how to mix them, compose them in a certain way that it is expressive, and it enhance the picture, and I always tell the people I work with in the sound. I always told them that for me, the sound is the flavor of the picture, um, because the picture has its own beauty, but then it need also a certain flavor, and the sound, a good sound would give it, to this. So for instance, for the Foley, I stay there from the first minute until the last minute of it every day, because um, you- a sound, you can find another texture, you can ask for something else, so I need to be there, I need it to be a little bit more wet, not that dry, things like that, you know, the same sound, but did it differently. So I'm very careful about it. And all the sound that we record on the set is very precious to me. I keep it the most I can, because it's the witness, it's the reference, you know, for the whole movie. Yes.
Well, it's
So
been
at the end of the editing of the sound, I realized that I didn't need music, and of course I sent um, a message to Johnny. I said you couldn't make it, so I don't use music, you know. But it's half a lie because at the end of the editing, I realized that I didn't need music at all because it keep this reality very strong.
well, it's been a distinct pleasure speaking with you. I hope to speak to you again, and best of luck with the film all around the world.
Oh, thank you very much. Thank you. Yes. Goodbye, Peter.
Goodbye.
Goodbye. Thank you.